I announced earlier today and through various means that I'm going to support Marco Rubio in every way I can in his campaign. All across America, millions of people are increasingly concerned and even outraged at the direction of our country. Folks who call themselves Democrats, Republicans, Independents are all concerned about the spending, the debt, the intervention of government, the takeovers in so many parts of our economy, that more and more people are looking for an alternative. It's real important that Republicans are there with the positive, optimistic alternatives, because there are better solutions to our problems than the stimulus. Some of you may have seen what Tom Coburn put out today, some of the 100 worst waste and fraud examples from stimulus. You can compare that to Marco's book of 100 ideas that work. But people who are not normally involved in politics, who I've seen in tea parties and in restaurants all across South Carolina and places I've gone all over the country, are just asking us what are we thinking and what can they do to make a difference. The next election, I think, is going to determine if Republicans are that alternative to big government and more government solutions. And so as many people are looking for leaders, we need to first look for what the principles are that guide our party. And they're pretty basic, and they've been long-standing of limited government, personal choices, freedom, individual responsibilities, strong defense, low taxes. And as we look around the country for folks who can help carry that banner of freedom, there's none better in my mind than Marco Rubio. And to run in a state like Florida, I'm convinced he can win. I'm convinced that the more the country looks at where we're going and where we need to go, they're going to come to candidates like Marco. So I believe he's not only going to win the primary, but the Republican is going to win in Florida. So there are a lot of things we can do from here as far as raise money, speak on his behalf, travel to Florida if I get the chance, if he thinks that'll help him. If he thinks it won't, I'll stay up here. But we've got a real diamond in our own backyard, as I said in my editorial, and I'm convinced that he can win and that he should win, and that he'll be one of the ones that help lead our party out of the wilderness and into the arms of awaiting American people. So Marco?
Thank you, Senator.
Yeah.
I appreciate your support, and having the support of Senator DeMint, who is a hero to taxpayers all across America, has given a great boost to our campaign. A campaign that's really founded on the simple notion. When I finished my term as Speaker in November of last year, I wasn't sure if I'd continue in politics. I had other options in my life, and I was enjoying those, including time with my family. But over the last few months, I've watched as the America that we once knew as the great nation, the greatest in the history of the world, has slowly begun to transform into something that it was never intended to be. Every single day in this city, decisions are made to take us further and further away from the intent of the founders of this great society, this great nation, of this great people. And I'm extremely concerned because my children are members of a generation who may be the first in American history to inherit a country worse than the ones their parents inherited. Never in the history of this great republic has a generation inherited a country worse off than the one the generation before knew. And yet that is what we're on the verge of today, because of a federal government that has grown larger than anyone could have ever imagined, certainly larger than anything the founders of this great nation could have imagined. The spending that happens here on a daily basis, quite frankly, is not just mortgaging our future, it's selling off our future, to the point where my children and my grandchildren, who I can't even imagine yet, will work their entire life just to pay the interest on the spending and the taxes that are coming their way. And so that's what this campaign is about. It's not about acquiring power, it's not about becoming a member of a club. It's about being one of joining voices that are already here and being one of a number of voices that I hope will run and be elected in 2010. And we'll begin to once again put America back on track to a place, a country where the individual has the liberty to pursue their dreams and work collectively for the best interests of themselves and their families and our nation, without the interference and the rapid growth of the federal government. That's what my campaign is about. And that's what I'll speak about for the next 14 and a half months, which seems like a long time, but I'll need every day of those 14 months to get our message out in Florida. And having the endorsement and the support of a taxpayer's hero like Senator DeMint is going to be a valuable asset to our campaign. So I'm eternally grateful and proud of your support.